finding and cultivating genuine happiness in everyday life. So what is joy and what are some differences between the joy and happiness, and what are some strategies or habits that we have that might be preventing the joy? And today I will be sharing with some strategies that you can use right away if you want to add more joy into your life. Happiness is a human emotion that is associated with circumstances, feeling good because something good is happening. It is situational or comparative and dependent on external events. Whereas joy is a spiritual practice and it's a way of engaging with the world regardless of circumstances. And Brown describes it as the most vulnerable emotion that we experience. Why vulnerable? Because joy requires being fully present to something good, and that creates exposure to loss. And we are most afraid of losing what we love most. So we preemptively dampen joy, what Brown calls as foreboding joy, and the practice of anticipating what could go wrong in the middle of what's going right. For instance, maybe oftentimes you notice that whenever you are experiencing something beautiful, when you are noticing something beautiful, you experience joy, sometimes you might feel a fear or an anxiety might arise. And you might start to think about losing it or about worst case scenarios. However, it's quite normal to have automatic thoughts, but you can learn a lot of strategies to bring yourself into present moment and to start to notice joy and good things that are happening in your life. According to Barbara Frederick's research, broaden and build theory, positive emotions, including joy, social connections, cognitive flexibility, physical health, persist long after the emotion itself has passed. So, people who are able to experience joy more often people who can experience joy more often are having more cognitive flexibility, having better mental health, better physical health, and able to see situations from broader perspective and are more open towards their feelings. And according to research, they were able to stay focused for longer and to study better, to succeed, and even to have better relationships. Therefore, experiencing more joy is not something selfish or a luxury. It directly impacts our quality of life, and therefore it can add a lot of difference to our lives and improve our everyday life. According to Amit Kumar and Nicholas Apple's research on experiential purchases versus material purchases, people systematically underestimate how much happiness they will get from experiences, especially ordinary everyday experiences, and overestimate how much they will get from possessions. For instance, according to another research that was conducted, people who have considerably improved their financial situation, after 1 year they came back to their previous levels of happiness. And people who experienced a lot of challenges and injuries, even though they were unhappy at the first stages of their life, after 1 year they were also found to come back to their previous levels of happiness. That's why, even though we think that financial situation and financial factor is very important, however, financial situation doesn't always bring more joy, and there are a lot of things that we don't notice that we can start to notice in order to increase our joy, and today we will be discussing about these strategies on how we can do that. And research on ordinary experiences, for instance, we are forgetting about ordinary experiences that we are having during the day, whether it's hearing music, drinking coffee with someone we love, walking, or doing ordinary activities. And when we start intentionally notice positive things that are happening, positive things that are available, our joy levels are generally increasing. According to Stuart Brown's research on play across species and human developments, it showed that playfulness is not frivolous. It's a fundamental biological drive that produces genuine neurological and physiological benefits, including joy, creativity, and social bonding. And research on humor has showed that laughter produces a genuine endorphin release, reduces cortisol, increases bonding through oxytocin, and in Raj's research, one of strongest predictors of subjective well-being. And joy lives in the unseen, in the moments where we are not performing or achieving, just engaging with something, the pleasure of engagement itself. And according to Dacher, Kellners, and Johnson Haig's research on all notion of all experiences in the face of vastness, beauty, or something that challenges your existing frameworks, produces a specific cluster of effects. And for instance, maybe time slows down, the sense of self diminishes, social motivation increases, and the sense of meaning and life satisfaction rises. And crucially, all doesn't require grand circumstances. Research shows that all can be triggered by nature, music, moral beauty, and great art, and even by deeply engaging ideas. And the practice of seeking all, deliberately looking for the vast, beautiful, and wondrous significantly increases daily well-being in research studies. So what does it say for us? That intentionally noticing moments whenever we are experiencing joy and happiness, and being grateful for those things can considerably improve your mental health and even physical well-being, and can help you to concentrate, to focus better, to be more productive in your work, and staying focused and noticing joy can even help to improve your relationships. And what are some factors that are blocking joy? According to Green Brown's research on foreboding joy, when something good is happening, whether it's a beautiful moment, a loving connection, success, many people immediately feel fear that something will go wrong, that I shouldn't get too happy. If I let myself feel this loss will be worse. And therefore this anticipation of negative feelings, negative experiences, or constantly worrying about the worst can considerably decrease your levels of joy. And solution for this is at the moments when you notice these automatic thoughts or feelings, you can intentionally bring your attention towards the present moment and notice things that you feel grateful for, notice beautiful things that are happening around you. For instance, this is also called practicing gratitude in the moment, not as cognitive exercise, but as a deliberate act of showing up for the goodness that's present. And this is good right now, and I'm going to let that in. So this simple practice can help to train your brain, and each time when you practice it, you will notice that it's easier to notice beauties and things that you feel grateful for slowly. And this of course would make you feel a little bit more joy every day. And negativity bias, according to Roy Baumeister's research, bad is strong than good, and negative events produce stronger, longer-lasting psychological effects than equivalent positive effects. And this is the negativity bias, a revolutionary legacy that was adapted for threat detection but mostly for well-being. So it's quite normal that our brains are noticing negative things that are happening around us, and this is because of how our brains were constructed in order to keep us safe and to detect possible threats or dangers. However, if it's excessive, or for the people who experience depression, anxiety, or a lot of trauma, negative experiences, some parts of their brain, such as amygdala, can be overly activated and oversensitive, and therefore possible threats, possible negative feelings, anxiety, or things that might go wrong. This might negatively impact their relationships, their view towards themselves, their perception of the world. And therefore, it's important to train your brain also to notice positive things and things that we feel grateful for. And one practical implication of it is that joy requires deliberate cultivation precisely because of the negativity bias. Since we already know this information, uh, deliberately practicing noticing positive things and things that we feel grateful for would help to cope with negativity bias and to bring more joy in our lives. And another strategy you can use is noticing specific moments of joy or positive experiences from the day. For instance, staying alone and trying to remember what went well today. Even you can use it for your kids every evening or when they come from the school, asking them what's been better today, what went good, what are some things that you feel proud of yourself, or also asking yourself what exactly makes you to feel joy and what was making you to experience joy or feel happy in the past, what were you doing at that moment, which environments, which people, which circumstances make you happy, or which mindset, what's there about you that's helping you to create more joy in your life. And this would help you to notice what's important for you, what's really making you happy, and what you can do in order to experience joy more often. And also noticing what impact it had on other people when you were able to be happier or to experience more joy is another strategy that might help you to have more happiness in your life. And research on positive journaling shows that when you are intentionally trying to notice positive things, when you are writing them down, and when this sustains over weeks, this can significantly increase the frequency with which people notice positive experiences during the day. And you begin looking for them and priming your attention for joy instead of what might go wrong and negative things that are happening in your life. And for instance, another strategy you can use is that once per week take a walk specifically looking for something that produces hope. Not checking your phone, not listening to a podcast, but looking for something vast, beautiful, intricate, or surprising, or that's something that you admire, and intentionally trying to notice positive things, whether in nature, beautiful things, in circumstances, situations that you are in, or in your interactions, for instance, intentionally noticing positive things that you have, that you notice in the people, and reflecting them back. And notice what will happen. Try it, experiment it, and see what will happen. Oftentimes people notice that their relationships are changing, their views of the people, their views of their own situation, and the challenges are changing, and this becomes the moment to create difference in other domains in their life. According to research by Virginia Starr, weekly all walks compared to regular walks produce significantly higher positive emotions, the social orientation and well-being over 8 weeks. And this means that this practice works. And when you, as we have already mentioned, anytime when you would notice an interruption of a negative thought, like when you are in the middle of joy, in the middle of something beautiful, or when you are experiencing these moments of happiness and joy, when something interrupts it with what if, when for instance you receive any negativity at that moment, practice what Brené Brown calls as a radical gratitude. Say explicitly to yourself aloud, I'm grateful for this moment, or for the people that are around me, for the people whom I'm supporting. And this doesn't eliminate vulnerability of joy. It chooses to show up anyway, and over time it builds the capacity to let go things, in more fully. And scheduling, for instance, I asked some questions that were that helped you to notice what exactly is making you happy, which people, which environments, which activities, which hobbies make you happy and to feel and to experience joy more often. Or maybe there are some new things that you can try, adding novelty into your life, trying new things, learning new things. Maybe you would notice that this also creates happiness and joy in your life. And scheduling a weekly play appointment, something that's purely and unambiguously enjoyable. It doesn't have to be productive, it doesn't have to be self-improving or related with your career or work or networking, just something that can help you to feel joy. And try to protect it with the same commitment you are protecting a professional obligation, because according to research, adults who play regularly, whatever that takes, show higher creativity, lower stress levels, are less prone to depression, anxiety, and they have stronger relationships and greater overall well-being. So this, like in psychotherapy, we are suggesting it to people who are experiencing depression or anxiety, but people who constantly, regularly do things that give them joy would be in a manner protecting their mental well-being and physical well-being. So joy is not something that happens when important things are done. It's one of the important things that are happening in our life, and oftentimes we don't pay attention to it, and we think that it's insignificant. However, it has a lot of positive implications that can considerably help us. And there were some questions that you asked related with this topic. Somebody asked, how do I find joy when I'm going through a really hard time? And joy is not denial. In genuine hardships, joy may be grief, quiet, and coexisting with grief or pain. And research on post-traumatic growth and meaning suggests that even in difficulty, small moments of genuine positive emotions, whether it's beauty, connection, humor, are not only possible but psychologically protective. And they don't minimize the hard, they sustain the capacity to keep going through it. And also noticing, like, sometimes it might feel that when at the times of hardships or tragedies or challenges, sometimes people feel guilty when they are feeling joy or when they are feeling happy, or if, for instance, people around them are suffering, it might be seen as if something unnecessary, or even they might feel guilty about it. However, when you think about it from different perspectives, people who are able to people who are able to experience more joy, more happiness in their lives will be able to help others, support others, and this would impact their relationships. Maybe this would help to get the people around them stronger. So when you consider it from this perspective, actually experiencing joy is not something that you need to feel guilty about, or you feel negative about yourself, because in the long run it can be used in order to support the people around you, support yourself, and you will be better function in your life, in your relationships, and to have more success in all domains of your life. And also there were questions that sometimes people feel guilty when they are experiencing happiness. This is quite normal and common and often related to people's childhood, or if they had a lot of tragedies or negative experiences when they were raised during their childhood. This might have become as an automatic response, and in somewhere subconscious, even if there are no reasons to feel sad or to feel depressed, this might have become as a way of seeing the world, and increasing awareness about it is the first step towards the change. For instance, if you don't have any means to receive mental health support or professional support, you can just start by journaling, noticing your thoughts and feelings and circumstances that are triggering this, And over time, you would notice that not all thoughts that we have are serving us, and maybe we cannot change automatic thoughts. Like nobody can change automatic thoughts, but we can learn to change our relationship towards them and to develop a better perspective towards negative thoughts that we have. And the good news is that everything can be changed, and brain is constantly evolving, and even if it's difficult for you to experience joy, you can learn different strategies, you can receive professional help, and you can improve yourself by increasing your awareness and learning more emotional regulation skills. And as a result, everyone is able of experiencing joy even in the middle of crisis, even in the middle of difficulties, because there are always things that we can feel grateful for. There are a lot of beauties, people we can admire, and details about our situation or challenges that still contain beauties and admiration. Therefore, considerably and intentionally noticing your thoughts and these beauties, things that we need to feel grateful for, can considerably impact your happiness and happiness of people around you. So we've been speaking about the difference of joy and happiness, and we have discussed that if happiness is something that is generally linked to external circumstances, joy is something that can be experienced and found in any situation, even when things are hard. And we have discussed about benefits of experiencing joy more often, and we have found that there are a lot of strategies you can use. You can find habits, activities that might create more joy in your life, and intentional noticing moments that give you joy. And anytime when you notice negative thoughts or anything that is interrupting your joy, you can intentionally bring yourself into present moment and be grateful for things that you have right now at the moment, whether it's relationships, whether it's connection, whether it's your health or your mental health. There are always things that we need to be grateful for. And we also discussed about what is blocking joy. It can be negativity or comparison sometimes, or negativity bias, since how our brains are designed to keep us safe from possible threats, dangers, and therefore we are more prone to notice negativities, whether in people around us. However, in the long run, this might not be serving us. And we also discussed about different strategies that might help you increase your experiencing of joy, including journaling, or walks for body and mind interruptions, and play appointments. And here, what I want to leave you with at the close of this session: your life is not a waiting room. It's not preparation for some future version that will finally be worth living fully. It's happening right now in the ordinary, the imperfect, the everyday, and unfortunately, the present moment is the only thing that we could have is the present. And everything is happening in the present moment, and each time we are wandering in the future or in the past, we are actually losing these precious moments, losing the opportunity to change, and we are losing our time. Therefore, joy is not reserved for special occasions. It's available in the texture of ordinary moments. And if you develop the eyes to see it, if you train your brain, and if you train your attention to feel it and the courage to let it in, it's always there. It's always available for you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time and being here with me. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next sessions again. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to leave your questions. Take good care of yourself.